It can be difficult for teachers to respond in a calm, open and engaged state when young people are dysregulated. This is because when behaviour is challenging or threatening, often adults can feel frustrated by this as their own human defences are triggered. At these times, it's much more likely that teachers will revert to more traditional behaviour management styles such as punishment, withdrawal or consequences. Unfortunately, these often feel shaming to a child who has experienced developmental trauma and can lead to a breakdown in communication, an escalation in the situation and a rupture in the relationship between the teacher and the child. It's really important for teachers to practice self-care. By recognising the impact that a child's behaviour is having on them, this will help teachers to respond in a more compassionate and understanding way.
School needs a clear plan for challenging incidents and at times of crisis. Establish the safety of the young person, the peers and the colleagues. Relate. Once they are regulated, connect with the young person, problem-free talk, a warm drink and a snack and a shared activity. Regulating a young person's fight, flight, freeze response maintains self-regulation and supports a young person to regulate with physical activity, repetitive activity, breathing and sensory strategies. Reasoning. Support the young person to understand what happened and give logical consequences based on the repair of the relationship, the damage to property. Encourage and support reflection. Talk to others involved in the incident, both peers and colleagues. Reflect and review. Could the incident have been managed differently?
What would help was teachers actually listening to us. If they would sit down with us and have a talk, but they didn't do it.
Try and understand that everything's not as easy as they think it is, because they haven't been through the same circumstances as everyone else, people in care and that. Foster care situations, movement, other things with family and that. I have trust issues with people. I think that's how I grew up though, because I don't like to trust people unless I know I can't.
So things schools can do to support safety: be predictable and reliable. If things change, then explain the reason why this has happened. Keep an open and friendly body language, a calm approach, tone of the voice, and show them that you can contain their emotions while maintaining calm. Provide clear and consistent routines, structures, boundaries. Use visual prompts, prepare and provide support. Anticipate triggers for anxiety, a different member of staff, a change in routine, sensitive curriculum topics, etc. Provide safe spaces and places and have a clear plan for challenging incidents at a time of crisis.
I still struggle to this day, but I'm just able to manage it better than what I used to be able to. And that's through my own growth and through seeing how I've been treated. I'm not going to stoop down and be the same. I'm going to make a difference. I'm going to show people that we're not all naughty kids. We're actually academic, smart individuals.
So I've ended up in another school, just a pro, which I think is quite better. They can pick up on telltale signs before a kick-off, well before it happens, and they take you out, take us through the wellbeing room, and we just sit and chill there for a bit with the music on. It's quite a small class, there's only 8 of us, well the maximum of 8 in a class, and there's 2 TAs. So there's if we need to leave, there's still someone there with the class.
The school I'm in now, it's alright, because I've got PE for my 3rd lesson. So I go to PE on my 3rd lesson, and I get to do table tennis, trampoline and football.
Due to so many different circumstances, people might not be able to speak up. People might be too afraid to speak up. People might not have the capability to know how to put it into words. So having more creative aspects like acting, singing, drawing, painting, sports, so many different ways to be able to have a voice. I feel like if councils start implementing that, I feel like we would get much more feedback and we'll be able to help more and understand more about what is actually going on in that kid's head.
It's all calmed down now, because I've been in this foster home for ages now, And like, I know like I'm fine. Well, now it's going good. I found a good friend group straight away. And I didn't hang around with all the people that I know could get me into trouble. And then I stuck with that friend group. It's not as strict. I've made like friends with most of the teachers. I've got Alex as support that helps me stay in the school if anything does go like really bad.
We could like first off tell them how I feel and like first gaining their trust. So like we trust them enough to like tell them really what's happening, what's going on, and tell them like bits of like what's happened. So like from like the start where you went into foster care, and then like basically how that's affected you or like how you feel about it and everything.
I feel like school just needs to genuinely listen to us. Like if we're saying, I can't be here today, I can't do this, then listen and come up with a compromise. You could do some work in like a separate classroom by yourself so you don't have to be surrounded with that constant reminder that you're different. Or even just being like, right, you can go home today, but will you come back tomorrow and give us your role? Like it's coming up with compromise. Like it's not all one way or another. It's like we can't always get what we want, but the school can't always expect us to do everything they need because we are struggling. We have experienced negatives and that is going to affect us.
Learning is state dependent. That is, in order for children to learn, they need to be in a calm and alert state. This means that they need to feel like adults have connected with the emotional part of their brain before they can engage the thoughtful, articulate and problem-solving areas that are required for learning. We would encourage schools and teachers to move from behavioural to relational responses and to remember that children who have experienced trauma require connection before correction. Using the PACE approach, playfulness, acceptance, curiosity, empathy can help the child feel safe and connected. This focuses on the child's internal experiences rather than the behaviour we see. It supports co-regulation with a safe adult and helps the child reflect. PACE is at the core of therapeutic relationships as it builds trust and security. At times of dysregulation, we would encourage teachers to regulate the child by calming their fight, flight, freeze response, to relate using PACE to connect with the child, and offer them time in so that the child can co-regulate and scaffold their behaviour. Then reason, helping them reflect and focus on repair rather than reproach.
The way schools can support access to learning. Recognise any additional learning or language needs. Structure the activities in a predictable way. Consider social and emotional development as well as cognitive development. A young person capable of age-related expectations for learning may be functioning at a much younger age in terms of social and emotional development. Use approaches such as task management boards, writing frames to structure tasks, information presented in multiple modes. Building in learning breaks as necessary. Communicate expectations for tasks very clearly. Provide support and modelling for organisation and planning of tasks.
I feel like it would be, instead of just focusing on teaching the class, I feel like you need to look at each individual. Obviously still be able to teach the class, but if you know a child is looked after and maybe having a bad day by looking at their behaviour points and things, maybe just keep an eye on them and make sure they're okay. Or even like pull them aside at the end and just ask them if they're all right. Like, because sometimes it is nice to have someone there to say, "Are you okay?" But not just like, "Hi, are you all right?" Like a proper sit down, "Are you okay?" chat. Because sometimes it is perfect just to let it all out.
When they had teacher training days, bring people like me in, people like that, and we can tell you our experiences if they wanted to, and tell them what we've been through, what's happened, what it's like, and then they'll have a better understanding of it. They could have a day where they do normal training, and then another day where they do training about young people in care, and just how to like handle them, like if they have like bursts of like anger or like, and how to like not put up with them, but like, as I said, handle them, like, because everyone's different, like every foster person is different, everyone's got a different story. And like how to like understand them really, yeah.
I feel like they need to factor into training those who are looked after, how to deal with them. Obviously, I know we're not different, but we have bad days, but obviously we have like past trauma, and some of us may have like PTSD where we struggle some days. They need to factor in how to cope with that. And if the child says, please go and find someone who I trust, then they should know. Like they should like not notes on them, but it should be on the system who they trust. So it's easier instead of a child trying to say like, I need you to go and find whoever, for them to then ask why. Because sometimes being asked why can just tip us over the edge.
Teachers can try to be on the lookout for what young people's survival behaviours look like, as these will be different for every young person. If you can recognise survival when it shows up, this will help teachers to achieve a position of understanding and being able to look behind the young person's behaviour to see their emotional pain. We need to recognise that often what we're seeing is a child doing their best to survive with brain adaptations from the past.
And just treat us like more individuals. Like we're not just a number in the system. We'll have a name, use it. We are individual people with individual taste. Just because it works with one kid doesn't mean it's going to work with me. It just needs to be more, like, less stigmatized. Like, we need to have less of a negative rep. Yes, some of us turn out to be proper little Rajis, but we're actually also the people who win awards. We're the people who people can look up to and be like, oh, I want to be like you. We're not just the people who spray graffiti or vandalize shops. We're the people who become teachers. We're the people who become them social workers. We are capable of more than just being naughty kids.
Towards teachers in particular, especially those who are support teachers for children such as myself, be more considerate and be more gentle and try and understand why they may act the way they do, why they may use the certain language that they do. Understand that they've been through a lot. They just need a gentle hand.